And this is the Priest Patch 7.1 update for TellMeWhen. A couple things changed with Shadow. As you'll see, there's an icon there for Shadow form. That'll just let you know that you are not in Shadow form, so you can go ahead and cast it. I went ahead and refined the rotation, and I moved a few icons around, but for the most part, the rotation hasn't actually changed. The only change that they did do for Shadow form was they changed the... they made it so that Arcane Torrent generates... insanity, but the rotation hasn't actually changed. It still functions the same way as it did, and there has been changes over time throughout patch 7.0 to kind of get them to a good point. But Shadow is a very strange spec. They function around really just execute DPS, and all that should be here. One other change I did put in was for Void Bolt. Because of how quick, especially if you're using Surrender to Madness, how quick your GCD is, it's like 0.7 seconds. I went ahead and changed it so that now it does a comparison cooldown tracker versus the GCD. So if the spell is about to come off cooldown or is less than the GCD, the icon will show. So you should be able to cast it a little bit more actively. The bigger thing to this profile is that I've added in both Holy and Discipline specs. Holy's your standard affair. It's your major cooldowns and also your artifact ability. The artifact ability for Holy is really just a proc, so that will just show you that it has procced. It'll flash for you real quick, letting you know that a heal just went out from that guy. But the rest of this is just cooldowns, and your important cooldown Prayer Mending is there in the center. That is really the only one you really want to cast on cooldown and make sure you have that floating around, especially with certain talents and such. But everything is here for you to use, and there will also be a Spirit of Redemption timer that appears on the bottom. Discipline, however, is a little different. Discipline is essentially a DPS healer spec. So there is a rotation, and they have important cooldowns. So as you'll see there in the center, there is the rotation, and it will track your dots as well. But it'll tell you to cast everything on cooldown as much as necessary, and all important cooldowns are there on the right and left as well as on the bottom. Your artifact ability for Discipline gets a damage boost for every target that's hit with Atonement. So the spell cooldown is there for you to use if you want to use it on cooldown, but I've also added in a buff tracker. So as you see, that's 10%, that's 20%, 30, and onward. It'll tell you exactly how much of a boost that spell is going to get based on all the atonements you have spread around your raid. But yeah, I hope this is what you guys were looking for. I hope you guys like what you see, and I will catch you in the next video.